AEW is Jericho once again, and he made the right decision going back to AEW versus WWE. This is why I feel that way. Welcome back, everybody. It's Screw the Script. I'm your host, as always, Maverick here. Thanks for joining me this Thursday, special Thursday, as we actually have Collision on tonight. So I'm making this video a little bit shorter so I can get this out to you well before Collision starts. I'm going to post this at 6 p.m. Central. Let's get right into it. I'm not going to make this video too long. Chris Jericho is back in AEW. That's the big story that happened last night on Dynamite. He is back in AEW, as you can see up there. He basically sat at home for the last year and wrote down a list of 1,004 reasons why he shouldn't return to WWE, and he came up with, if you understand the reference, he got a call from Triple H probably at some point talking about what they wanted to do creatively for Chris Jericho. He was probably pitched getting retired by Gunther, and he was like, nah, I don't want any of that shit. So he chose to go back to AEW, and there's early reports, rumored reports. Now, there's no concrete evidence on this yet, but I am seeing early reports saying that he has a new contract too. So he's not just returning with the remaining contract that he has, whatever that may be, but in fact, he did sign a new contract. And it likely is going to be his last one. He is 55 years old. He has Fozzy outside of pro wrestling, so he is an extremely busy guy, but he looks really, really good. The purple suits him. He looks like he spent the last year just getting really fit. We all saw the washboard on his stomach there. Chris Jericho is back. You let me know down below your thoughts on his return. Going into Dynamite last night, it was a solid episode, but we were going to talk about MJF. Speedball as well did a great, great job, both of them, in that main event. MJF is a generational talent, like he calls himself, because it is the damn truth. He came out with American everything, and they were in Canada, so it was a very well-rounded show for Canada. You saw Jericho return. He's from Canada. Kenny Omega had a great promo at the beginning and a solid match. He's from Canada. And then Speedball, also from Canada. So what does MJF do? He comes out decked out in all-American everything. It was the perfect way to be a heel once again. MJF just does everything perfect. And the fact that he's only newly 30 years old, he's got a solid decade plus ahead of him of his prime. I've said before on this channel, I think for men anyway, in pro wrestling, their prime is the 30s. For women, it's a little bit younger because they typically retire younger. Their prime is 25 to 35. MJF is just entering his prime now. He's just getting started. His first 7 years almost of AEW was just him developing. And early on, MJF, he was kind of green in the ring. He's always been phenomenal on the mic, but his in-ring skills should not be overlooked. I think that they have heavily improved over the last almost 7 years, and he's most likely going to main event All In Wembley. Most people are probably thinking it's going to be him and Will Ospreay. It could be him and Darby Allin. It could be Omega and him once again. I'm not entirely sure how they're going to write it out for All In this August, but MJF is incredible. Also, some AEW news that I want to talk about now, just moving past Dynamite, because although Dynamite was really good, that's all I really wanted to talk about on that show, because there's other things that I think are a little bit more important that I want to talk about. Right up here, we have MVP saying that the coolest thing is that we are back together in AEW and we'll be back in action soon, hurting people. So it sounds like Bobby Lashley is fully recovered. Shelton Benjamin got the rest that he needed. I do wish that they would have had a singles run for Shelton while they waited for Lashley, but having the Hurt Syndicate back is going to be awesome for the tag division. It's going to look great going into All In later this summer, because I'm sure they will be highlighted in a solid tag team match. Maybe against Edge and Christian if they are the ones to take the titles off of FTR soon. And ahead of Collision that will be starting shortly after you're probably watching this, here's the card. Juice Robinson and Ciampa, that's going to be really, really good. I got Ciampa winning that. Moxley and Anthony Bowens, you got Moxley winning that. I think I'm going to add in an extra bit here, extra prediction. I think Bowens will lose, and then the Death Riders will jump him at the end. Max Caster is going to come out and help him, because I do think at some point down the line here soon, they need to really, really jump on getting the Acclaimed back together, because let's be honest, it's what they need. Bowens, his singles run just wasn't as good as he was hoping it to be. Max Caster's singles run has been entertaining and all, but the two of them were so damn good together as a tag team. Put them back together. I want to see the Acclaimed have a match by All In this summer. We also have a 8-man tornado tag match, so that's going to be a spot fest. No tags really needed at all. We got basically a heel team versus a face team. I'm kind of curious where Gabe Kidd is. He must be injured or just written off for a little while after he lost to Darby Allin, because he hasn't been in AEW on Dynamite or Collision for the last few weeks now, as we have 2 of the 3 War Dogs teaming up with Claudio and Wheeler of the Death Riders versus Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, Kevin Knight, and Mystico, it looks like. It's kind of hard to tell in that graphic, but it looks like that's Mystico there. We got Don Callis' family versus the Rascals. I've told you plenty of times how much I fucking love the Rascals. That'll be fun. Willow Nightingale Open Challenge. I do have the spoiler for that. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. I will not be that person, but I do know who it is. I hope that you guys like it. Divine Dominion. I'm just going to keep calling them Mega Cross because I personally think that is the better name. They're in action, and FTR is in action. So a loaded Collision card. Let me know down below what you're most excited for, and if you've watched this after Collision, let me know what your favorite match was. Now, we got a couple WWE things, but this video is primarily about Jericho and AEW. Little Yachty and WWE are negotiations for WrestleMania appearance and possibly beyond. News broke from Fightful, and this just shakes my head. This is where WWE is literally only sports entertainment, and pro wrestling takes a huge backseat to sports entertainment these days, to celebrities, and all this endorsement bullshit. I think this is stupid, and the fact that it says "and beyond" sounds like the next Travis Scott project, which I am not looking forward to. One thing I wanted to point out here, look at all these wrestlers that are making their debut for WrestleMania coming up later this April. And knowing how WWE operates, I won't be shocked. I will be upset. I will be very disappointed if none of these wrestlers win, but I won't be shocked. You got Oba, you've got Stephanie Vaquer, Trick Williams, Dragon Lee, Lash Legend, Javon Evans, and JD all making their WrestleMania debuts. I'm not so sure about that JD one. Maybe it is, which is crazy because he's been in WWE for a few years now on the main roster, but needs a win against Brock. Trick Williams needs to beat Sami Zayn. And it would be really cool to see Javon Evans win if they decide not to keep the title on Penta in that ladder match. But watch all of them lose. Come on. It's WWE. Do you have faith in them? I don't. And now to close out the video, I'm bringing back the Daily Dumb Take. I've got 3 of them since I didn't do this in the last couple of videos. So let's get on to the Daily Dumb Takes. Here's the first one. Something that Kenny Omega said, also pointing out that WWE's ticket prices are so damn high that you have to mortgage your first house or sell your first child, is what he explained. This person that goes by God's Gift, so very full of himself, constantly bellowing about how your tickets are affordable while you're struggling mighty to sell tickets for your weekly shows is quite the business strategy. They never just focus on them, and that's one of the myriad of issues with the company. I'm sorry, but you couldn't be more wrong. And the fact that you're defending these absurd ticket prices to a level where you can't even agree with a guy that says, yeah, ticket prices are really high. I mean, you've got people in WWE that have said that ticket prices are too high. Cody Rhodes called out ticket prices to be too high. Retired wrestlers have called it left and right. But you have these E-stands that will defend anything WWE, no matter how bad it is. I'm sure that this person is also probably hoping that it's Vince McMahon, of all people, that's talking to Randy Orton over the cell phone lately. because that's probably something that would get this guy hard on. I don't want to see Vince McMahon anywhere near a WWE ring ever again. This person on the Jericho stuff says Jericho would have gotten a bigger and better reaction in the WWE. Sure, a lot of E-stands were saying that they didn't want him back. I also saw a lot that said that they did, but those same people are now saying that they didn't want him ever, that he's too washed and blah, blah, blah. It's just a bunch of backpedaling. And honestly, I don't know if that's the case, because Jericho is one of the big reasons why AEW is who they are today. Chris Jericho, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega and Cody Rhodes, and Hangman and Tony Khan, that collection of people, AEW would not exist if those people did not get together at one point or another. And lastly, more Jericho Daily Dumb Take, the real one on Twitter. He says you can have Jericho, and I think this was right before the Royal Rumble, when they were expecting him to show up, like the Raw before Royal Rumble or something, and he didn't show up. This person, I think, was upset that it wasn't Jericho and was just basically like, oh, you can have him, whatever, we don't need him. And then literally on his debut, he posts the Judas lyrics. So again, backpedaling. I've got receipts though. So those are the Daily Dumb Takes. Let me know down below in the comments what you think of them. That's all I had on this video on Screw the Script. Let me know your thoughts on the Chris Jericho news. Are you excited to have him back? What do you think they'll do with Chris Jericho? Let me know what your favorite part was of Collision, and let me know what you think about those Daily Dumb Takes. As always, this was Maverick with Screw the Script. Thanks for watching.